What's going on? I see you guys. Gamethon, thank you very much. I'm only seeing what you guys show me online about the WWE 2K22, but that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. It's the first video game I've ever been in, which is pretty fucking surreal. It's a pretty crazy thing to grow up on wrestling video games. And you know, at a certain point in time, they, you know, created the create a wrestler mode. So of course, when you're a kid, even now, I don't know, like you would create, you know, a cool wrestler, or you create yourself in a game. And when I was little, I always used to create these characters I used to draw on a piece of paper. And then, like, I don't know, at a point I try to create whatever I thought I, you know, would be like if I were a wrestler. And then one day you fast forward and you're in a fucking wrestling video game. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Don't mind me, I'm gonna be munching on some stuff here. I am way behind on my calories today and on my protein and fat intake. I'm not endorsing anything, and I'm not sponsored by these guys, but I saw something in my news feed, I think on YouTube actually, or Instagram, I don't know. But there are these things called keto bricks, and I'm not even gonna show you what it looks like because I don't want you to think I'm trying to plug it, but man, I read the nutritional facts in this. Listen to this. I've never seen anything like this. It's 1,000 calories, 1,000 calories, this keto brick. It's 36 grams of protein and 92 grams of fat. That's fucking 270% comprised of 54 grams of saturated fat. I don't know, I think that's fucking insane. But it's a great way to get calories in, clean calories if you're doing carnivore / keto. So I'm gonna be eating that whole around here to catch up on food that I have not had an opportunity to eat today. I don't like to rely on supplementation, which I will be talking about on this hour of Health Hour, and I'll be answering your questions as always. I hope you guys have been doing well. I apologize for not being able to be on last night. You know that I take the commitment pretty seriously to come on at 11:15 every Monday. I was on set shooting some stuff. I can't tell you what I was shooting, but I can tell you I was on set shooting, and it's gonna drop very soon. So, very excited. Listen, I've had some pretty major shit in the works since November, December, and I honestly thought it was gonna drop by now. I thought at the time that my 90-day would be up, it would get dropped and released, but they almost said who, wanted to wait until a more appropriate time to drop it. So it's a little behind schedule, but it's gonna be dropping very soon, and I think you guys will be very happy with it, so. Oh, seeing you guys talking about the entrance that we did in the video game, I was really happy, selfishly, and also for you guys that the entrance was in the game. It's a way to at least preserve it and keep it alive so people can enjoy it. And yeah, just to be in the game. I was very, very happy for Scarlett to be in the game. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but if things remain the way they told us it was going to be, she will have a significant part in the game in a particular mode. You'll see. Hopefully it'll be there. Yes, I will be at WrestleCon in Dallas. There's a lot of stuff going on. The 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd coming up. So stay tuned. Big stuff. The biggest stuff I'll be doing will be coming up very soon. Yeah, we're really happy we're in the game. And thank you very much for the support and expressing that, guys, sincerely. So, I'm curious to know, the forearm that I was throwing to the back of the head, like Kabashi, Misawa, Kawada style, Wade Barrett. I don't know if there's new people here versus the first time I dropped this, but I got Wade Barrett's blessing to actually throw the bullhammer. But I told him I didn't want to do it the same way as him, out of respect for him. Since I was working heel, I thought it would be so much more fucking dastardly, instead of to throw the forearm to the face, to throw it to the back of the head. I was doing everything from behind. Coming up behind somebody, suplexing him, getting behind the guy, choking him. Why not throw the forearm to the back of the head? Now I've been finishing people by TKO on all my independent matches, and you'll see. If you haven't already, you'll see, but coming up with new ways to finish the matches. I hope the form's in the game. Does anyone know if it is? Did it make the development? And has anyone seen the Saito yet? How did they do the Doomsday Saito? Because I don't throw it the same way everybody else does. James Gregg, 1963, says, I think NXT knew exactly what to do with you when it came to packaging your character, and then the entrance with you and Scarlett, and then for some reason when you got to main roster, they just didn't know what to do. Well, I can tell you, I had free range to create an NXT. It wasn't that NXT knew what to do. They asked us what we think we should be doing, and we showed them, and they let us. So it was a beautiful system of allowing us to breathe what we knew you guys would enjoy through our work. Things didn't feel mechanical at NXT. Things felt very organic. I mean, you still take direction. It's a TV show, and you're not the boss, But we were provided flexibility to create what we knew or felt confident would work and what people would enjoy seeing. So main roster's a whole other story. So, and it had nothing to do with them not knowing what to do. They know what works, and they know what will not work. And you can read between the lines on that one. You can interpret that however you like. Alan in Northeast, thank you very much for the sub. I see you on here. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you for coming back. I recognize the name right away. Luke says you seem a lot calmer in real life than being in the wrestling world. Yes. I think if I was as high strung as the character that I play for you guys on television, I would probably be in a mental institute. So, yeah, I scale back the Karrion Kross drinks more coffee than Kevin does. Clearly. True Ravage wants to know, you still eating low carb? Technically, I will update you guys. I don't know if you remember me telling you about a week or 2 weeks ago, I had some dessert with Scarlett. It was like a peanut butter chocolate cake that we had ordered. Just want to see how my body would respond to it. I felt okay, and then the next day when I woke up, I felt like somebody punched me in the fucking head. So that's just the way my body responds to processed or like refined carbs. It's not good. And it took me like a day to get back to normal. Like I got a brain fog. So any carbs I am having is only immediately after working out. As I've stated before, 15 to 30 grams tops of fructose or some sort of fast loading glucose, but that's it. I just function and feel better not having carbs with my meals. My energy peaks and falls, I get tired. We've talked about that at length, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, if that constitutes to you as low carb, sure. A lot of people categorize that as targeted ketosis, which I've stated before is when you have carbohydrates immediately after you eat, or after you work out, excuse me. Right after you've worked out, if you spike your insulin, you have a higher ratio and probability of storing the protein versus allowing your stomach acids to burn through it for your post-workout meal. A lot of people believe, and there is a lot of literature to suggest that it optimizes muscle growth, that having carbs and protein immediately after workout will speed up the recovery process. But then there's also other studies that suggest that that's not true. So what do you want to believe? I'm trying it. It doesn't seem to make me feel off or anything like that. So Tyreek wants to know, how did you like your entrance to Scarlett? We think it looks very cool. We think it looks very cool. Very happy that they decided to keep our stuff in the game for everybody. So. Scarlett thought the entrance was really cool too. Looking at Jay Sizzle asking the question here. Yeah, we think it's awesome. Best concert, Surtur, that we've been to? A Perfect Circle anytime I've ever seen him live. Blows everything away. One Up Tactic says, so I started my weight loss journey a few days ago and started fasting today. Any other tips you might be able to give me? Yes. Your central nervous system and your adrenal glands and your body's ability to produce the output of energy and attention that you need is like 50% calorie based, 25% water based, and probably another 25% central nervous system fuel based. What does that mean exactly? Your central nervous system needs essential minerals and electrolytes to operate at its highest capacity. So while you're fasting, I know they say you can drink 0-calorie beverages like water or black coffee or green tea. Be aware that if you're gonna be dialing back calories, that you might not, as you're losing weight, you may feel lethargic. You may feel like you don't have energy to do things. You may feel like you need to coast on caffeine to get through the day. Rather than doing that, because you're gonna burn out your adrenal glands, I would suggest supplementing on top of whatever else that you're choosing to eat for this. Magnesium, potassium. I like to use pink Himalayan salt as a natural electrolyte. Sodium is also very important as well as a fuel source, especially if you're cutting back glucose. And I would probably have a small amount of, if I haven't said this yet, I apologize if I did. I wouldn't mind taking a calcium, magnesium type of supplement, maybe right before bed. So, my opinion. You can also look into that stuff as well. But there's certain things that your central nervous system needs beyond calories and water. So just be careful not to deprive yourself of that while you're fasting and doing stuff like that, because you could hit a wall with that. Why does it look like you're eating cardboard? This is just a block of saturated fat with a little bit of protein. I was just saying earlier, it's about 1,000 calories total, and I'm about 1,000 behind right now. So in this block, there's 1,000. So I'm eating this while I'm here with you guys. It does look like a bar of soap. I fucked up today. Really busy. Been signing autographs all day. Want to knock them out. Wasn't keeping track of time, and I'm behind on food intake. I saw that on Twitter that Dolph won the belt. That's pretty cool. He's a fucking good dude. I wrestled Dolph on a dark match in front of nobody. We were doing the empty arena matches at the Yingling Stadium here in Florida. Back when they just had the TVs in the crowd like fucking Black Mirror. Ugh. But we had fun. I like him and his brother too. Who knows where that'll go? Fuck, I mean, if they induct Bronson's father and his uncle into the Hall of Fame, maybe he goes and he wrestles Dolph in front of his father and his uncle and he wins back the belt. I mean, why not? If I was gonna write the show, I'd do that. That makes the most fucking sense. That's a feel-good babyface moment. They might be setting up for that, logistically. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Think about that reaction when he wins. If, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I don't know, just that's what I think would be a wise thing to do. Luke wants to know what your favorite type of food is to eat. Ribeye, steak, medium rare. Depends. Sometimes I like it just to eat it rare. But if I want the flavor, if I'm eating it for the flavor, I'll do medium rare. And I'll use garlic and sea salt, and that's perfect for me to cook that with for flavor and butter. I like to use something called ghee. I think I said that correctly. Ghee. I'll cook my meats in that. It's a type of butter with pink salt in it. High in saturated fat, 0 carb. It's good. You want to get a close-up of the brick? See Sully? I said I wasn't going to show you, but if you're asking, this is what I'm eating. I just recently discovered them. Just want to get a fucking laugh at this. I don't know if it's backwards. It looks backwards to me. I don't know if it translates differently to you guys, but 1,000 calories. Fucking hilarious. I'm averaging out between 3,500 and 4,500 calories a day if I'm home. Now that I've been on the road, doing conventions, signings, independent shows, seminars, we're shooting stuff for movies and TV shows and stuff. It's very difficult. I can always hit my macros, like getting 250 grams of protein, that's fucking easy. I don't know what I'm eating in fat though, and I don't know what my total caloric intake is because depending on what city I'm in, what's available for Uber Eats or catering and stuff like that, I don't know. But I feel good. So wherever my calories and fats are falling, I don't know unless I'm here and I can look at it, but I feel very well. So That's got to be a good indication of stuff. And I keep my water intake very high, so. When Scarlett, Tyreek wants to know, when Scarlett wrestles, does she use the cross jacket as well? No. We're not that couple. We don't use each other's fucking moves. I always thought this that's a little fucking lame, you know? For some people it works. It's endearing when some couples do it. But for us, we're two totally complete, you know, we're individuals. Like, she's been in the business for 10 years. She's been in the business longer than I have. She hasn't necessarily wrestled as much as I have, like in terms of like being in the ring and stuff like that. But she wasn't pursuing trying to wrestle 3 to 4 days a week. She was in school. She had a lot of different things going on. And then, I mean, she's been in television longer than I have. She's been working for television wrestling companies longer than I have. But yeah, like her timetable for the last 10 years has not been open enough to go after matches as hard as me. But like, she has her own identity in the ring. Certainly doesn't need to do anything that I do, and vice versa. She uses like an inverted tombstone, actually, as a finish. So that's what she uses. And she was using a dragon sleeper for a while as well. So. Cerberus Blood 13 wants to know which pro wrestlers are your personal friends. Nitro's been a friend of mine forever. Morrison, I call him Nitro, or sometimes I call him Mundo. Matt Lee, Jeff Parker, Dexter, Ridge, Pillman, Adam, Mike. Trying to think of the less obvious ones that you guys wouldn't know. Vinny Marseglia. A lot of people. Talk to a lot of people on a regular basis. Lil Cholo, Mariachi, tons. Now you guys put me in a fucking hot seat, because now if I don't mention somebody, they're like, oh, what the fuck, bro? Cage. Cage would be the what the fuck, bro. You're not gonna drop my name, man? We're not friends anymore? Remy Marcel in Vegas has been a very close friend of mine for a very long time. Shinsuke. Tons. Juice, Tony, Shotzi, Danny, Zion Quinn, Beetlejuice, Robocop, Pterodactyl Man, Catman, Catboy, Possum Boy, Shark Boy, Disco, Conan, Hoovy, Skeletor, Ed 209. They're wrestlers. They've wrestled before. Thunderdome, yeah, that was where we did that. Tariq wants to know, any advice on losing weight and the right foods to eat? Well, let me segue into the subject that I wanted to discuss. I like to answer a couple questions in the realm of whatever you guys want to talk about, and then I get into the subject matter. It gives people time to jump in, especially because today's Tuesday anyways. It's not our regular day. I'll try to tie your question to the subject matter. So I'm willing to answer any questions that I feel confident in like any questions I feel like I can honestly answer regarding any sort of whatever. So I feel like weight loss is something, or at least maintaining your weight is definitely something that all of us are going to have to learn how to cope with. Some people on here might not ever anticipate having any sort of weight loss issues ever. They might be completely living up to their own personal standards of where they want to be, and you know, like maybe they've already lost the weight, right? But sometimes it doesn't hurt to rep this type of stuff out, especially too, as we get older, our metabolisms slow down, and I do think that it's a hard subject to tackle because there's so much information out there, and everybody's different. People metabolize calories differently. Like, you could get some sort of weight loss program from somebody, and it unfortunately might not work for you, which is really disparaging, because some people don't know how to translate why it's not working for them. They might think that they got ripped off, or they might think, well, I guess I just can't fucking lose weight. Something must be like really wrong with me. It becomes like this whole mental mind fuck, right? But me personally, if you're asking me for advice, I would definitely try to tell you to figure out what your body mass index is, your height versus your weight. There's lots of ways to calculate it completely for free on any sort of search engine that you want to use. I always suggest to people using DuckDuckGo. That's the one I prefer to use. Figure out what your body mass index is. Figure out what your daily caloric intake is of what you should be eating, your height versus your weight and your age. And try to begin counting calories right on the back of everything that you're eating. On the nutritional facts, it says how many calories are attached and associated to what. And just start like that first. If you're starting from zero and you don't exercise and you don't do any of this type of stuff, and you're interested in trying to lose weight, not even just for aesthetic purposes, but because you want to feel better, if you think something's wrong, like you don't feel right, and you think that it has to do with this, I would definitely suggest starting there first. Body mass index calculator, find out what your daily caloric intake is, and just start holding yourself accountable to every meal that you eat every day. Make sure that by the end of the day, you don't spill over the amount of calories that you know you absolutely need to eat to sustain your health. Do not go over that number. Once you begin getting into that routine, even the same day, if you're feeling confident when you're going to begin this process, start doing yoga. Start doing yoga. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to a studio and be in a room with 12 fucking people sweating and the door is closed and you can't breathe. That's also not for everybody. That's also not for everybody. But what you can do is you can put something on your television if you have a YouTube app, or you can use your phone or your computer. You have one or the other if you're here with me. And then you can put on these YouTube channels. There's thousands of them with free yoga shit. They have like 15 to 25, even 10-minute or 30-minute classes that you can do right in your home. And just start doing that shit every fucking day. And you will burn calories, you will improve your mobility, you'll feel better. The human body holds certain types of emotions in certain types of places, physically. I didn't know that until about 2 or 3 years ago. I was in a funk about a lot of shit. People were passing away in my family 3 or 4 years ago. People just started dropping off. Due to old age and all kinds of shit, cancer, and you think you're okay with that after a while, and then you'll be somewhere, you'll talk to somebody, you'll see a picture, or hear a song, or whatever. You're watching a movie, or you hear that it's happening to somebody else, and then that shit you almost start feeling like you're going backwards, and you begin to feel differently about it. That happens to all of us, right? It hits us in waves sometimes, like intense grief, not trivial bullshit grief, but like real grief. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Everyone has it. It creeps back up on you sometimes. And I was doing everything right. I was taking the right vitamins. I was eating well. I didn't have any toxic people in my life. And I was like, I don't want to fucking feel like this every day. Like, I got to get solution-based and figure out how I can improve feeling better. And sometimes when you want to be in a good mood, it's not just going to come to you. You almost have to fight to get into a good mood. And it's funny because like when we get pissed off, and people can get pissed off like that. You can get pissed off real quick, very easily. I can. You're ready to fight as soon as you get fucking angry. If we took that same type of energy that becomes available to us when we get pissed off, and we change directions on it and put that energy in the direction of deliberately trying to feel good, like waking up and being like, I don't feel fucking good right now, but I am gonna spend all of my energy making sure that I'm in a good fucking mood today. Like, you have to wanna feel good. You have to wanna be in a good mood. And sometimes you have to chase that type of shit. And I know that might sound like a foreign idea or a concept, but I will go to those levels to protect my energy away from bullshit. Sounds crazy. Maybe it's not totally productive for business, but like sometimes I just will fucking put my phone down and I won't answer it and I won't look at it for fucking hours. Because sometimes there's a lot of negative associations and bullshit with this fucking thing. I mean, this is great. We can use our phone to connect and we can engage in these ideas and these concepts and these discussions and stuff like that. We can learn things and maybe we think one way when we turn this on and then we begin to explore different ideologies and then we expand on that and we feel differently. It's all good, right? But sometimes there's some stupid shit on your phone that you don't need to see, or you need to protect your energy for yourself and you can't just keep fucking giving it out. You go into like this exhausted state. Sometimes I just put my fucking phone down and I will do things around my home, around my property, or I'll go for a fucking walk outside and I feel better about whatever's going on. And it's a beautiful, simple thing that everybody can do. So, yeah. Simplicity. But to answer your question directly, and I will go off on tangents like this on here, the advice on losing weight, watch your calories and start doing yoga. With all that shit I was talking about, somebody had suggested for me to start doing yoga about 3 or 4 years ago. And I started to feel very good. The tension and emotional distress that I was desperately trying to get rid of, and I just couldn't figure out how to get rid of it, I would be instructed to go into certain types of poses that actually alleviated tension that my body was holding from things that I was thinking about. It would have never fucking occurred to me that the human body can do that, but that's a real fucking thing. I know that might sound crazy to anyone who's never tried yoga or isn't into stretching. That might sound like bullshit. I swear to God to you it's true. Stretching is also a form of burning calories when you do it like they do in yoga, getting into different positions and stuff like that. And it will assist with weight loss, and it will assist with improving your mobility. Now, if you're eating over the amount of calories you should be eating and you're doing yoga, your mobility is going to improve, but you're definitely not going to lose weight. I won't bullshit you on that. But some yoga and some low intensity cardio, like long distance walking outside or something, listening to a podcast while controlling your calories, I'm giving you the easiest fucking steps right off the bat in order to drop your weight. If you can do that every day, it's not abusive. It's not going to fuck you up like lifting weights. You got a really good shot. And I'm giving you broad advice that anyone on here could be listening to that could be at a different level, different range, right? If you're on the extreme spectrum of shit and you want to go punch a hole through the fucking wall at the gym and you're that guy or that girl, by all means go to the gym and lift weights. Pick one body part and do 5 exercises, 5 sets, 5 reps, fucking heavy, and 45 minutes of cardio with a controlled calorie diet 3 days a week, and you'll definitely lose weight. But if that's not for you, and you want to do this in the privacy of your own energy, the latter, what I suggested, would definitely be a good call. In relation to the subject matter that I wanted to bring up, which also ties into weight loss technically, I'm sitting here and I'm leaning on supplements and stuff like that. I don't normally go seeking out supplements. I'm not the biggest fan of supplements. I'm not saying that I would never endorse supplements. I'm not saying that I don't take supplements. Clearly I do. I'm not saying that I haven't suggested using supplements in the past. But what I'm saying is, for whatever your health goals are, whether you're maintaining, whether you just want to feel good, whether you want to improve your athletic performance or drop weight, or you want to get bigger, there are far more benefits in sticking to whole foods than supplementation. I've covered a little bit of this on other topics prior in Health Hour, but there is a very, very big difference in the amino acid profiles of whole foods versus supplementation is this type of stuff is synthetic. I have like a protein powder in here from Redcon. It's isolated protein, no carbs. If I'm having a day like I'm having right now where I'm working my ass off and once I sit down and I have a project in front of me, I'm not gonna get up and I'm not gonna do anything until it's done. I could go a few hours without eating anything, which is not good for me. So I have to catch up on macronutrients and calories on the back end. That's when I'll use supplements. But whatever your goals are, do not feel like the only way to achieve them is to over supplement and dial back your food. Because you'll notice, and if you haven't noticed before, you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna feel tired. And the reason for that is because there are naturally occurring macronutrients and vitamins and minerals and all different types of things that exist in whole foods that just do not metabolize the same way in supplements, which is synthetic, it's created, right? I can't stress that enough for people. People always ask me, what about creatine? What about testosterone booster pills? What about, what's the other one? BCAAs. They're all great. They're all great. But I promise you that those are not magic bullets. The magic bullet, and this is the biggest fucking scam of all time in the health industry and the supplementation industry and the fitness industry. The magic bullet is hard work and whole foods. You would be so much better eating chicken or fish or steak after you work out than having a protein shake. I swear to fucking God to you, I've seen a massive difference in my body composition and just my overall general health. Leaning off of supplementation every day, taking supplements just to take them because you think it's gonna help, versus eating proper meals. You eat 3 square meals a day of exactly whatever it is that you need to have in your diet, you will see results of whatever you're attempting to accomplish light years faster than replacing your food with supplements. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. I've had a lot of young kids ask me about that are in their last years of high school, college, university. They want to improve their athletic performance or get a 6-pack or something or whatever. Or they'll ask me questions and stuff like that. And they're always asking me questions about supplements. Supplements are not as effective as whole foods. I'm not saying they're not effective. They are. Lots of studies and science to prove that. But I know people want fast results. It's just our culture. It's the era we live in. You want to lose the weight quick. You want to put the muscle on fast, whatever. You want to be able to run faster. You want to be able to punch harder. I get that. Everyone develops at different speeds. Sleep plays a big role. We've talked about that before. Having quality sleep, essential. You cannot recover. You cannot grow. Having a fucking good sleep, actually, there's enough studies out there now. It's actually suggesting that it dramatically improves weight loss. Having a good sleep can maintain or speed up your metabolism. Having poor sleep can actually slow down your metabolism. It can increase the amount of cortisol that your body produces, which is a stress hormone. Stress hormone slows down your metabolism, can also spike your insulin. Couple that with eating bullshit food, you're gonna store it in your stomach, your face, fucks up your arteries. So, all things to consider. I hope I'm not going too quick. I'm covering a lot. When I started this, I wanted to speak in layman's terms. I can quote science literature, but it's not going to help people on here who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So rather than trying to sound like Bill Nye, I'm trying to speak in plain English because there could be people from other countries or young kids on here. They don't know what the fuck I'm saying. So all they know is that I'm swearing. Let's see. Jet Bomber wants to know, hey Cross, do you ever plan on going on Seamus's Celtic Warrior Workouts YouTube channel and showing your workout regime? If he wanted me to, sure. I met him when I was on main roster. Very, very nice guy. Very funny. He's got a good sense of humor. Fucking crazy work ethic as well. If he wanted me to, I would, sure. I'm familiar with the channel. There's a random Venom question here. Let's take a look at this. It's because of the sweater, obviously. I just realized I'm wearing it. Cross, would you like to be Venom in a Venom movie? It's from Banks, 2023. I would. I would. Let me be the what if variant Frank Castle Venom. What if Frank Castle, the Punisher, got the Venom symbiote? Sign me up for that. My fucking hair's grown out. I'll put some castor oil in this, slick it back. If I have to, I'll dye it black. Give me the armor, give me the symbiote. I will fucking take out the Kingpin, okay? If need be. I would love that. John Bernthal as Punisher was amazing. Did you guys like that series? How many people got into Punisher? It's fucking awesome. Loved all the movies too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Super Panda. He's a very, very close friend of mine. He's a professional wrestler out of California. He's living here in Florida. I'm very happy to have him here. Him and I were laughing last week how crazy the Punisher movie was with Dolph Lundgren back in the day. I don't know, I'm dating myself here. I don't know how many people have seen the original Punisher film, but Dolph Lundgren as Frank Castle at the beginning of the film wastes all these organized crime guys, and then there's a monologue that runs over this whole scene. He's talking about the methodology of his whole process of killing criminals, and he's on his knees, chilling, naked, covered in dirt in the sewer. And him and I were laughing, and we're just like, what went into the fucking thought process of thinking that was like so necessary to be in the film? You know, you get all these Hollywood people that probably saw like a Punisher comic once, and somebody was like, you know, they got this comic called The Punisher. I mean, they could really have anybody play him. And, you know, he's a gun guy, so you make an action movie. He's got this skull on his chest. You could turn that into a fucking t-shirt. Do you have any idea how much money that would make? And then you got the other guy in the room who's like, oh yeah, I read the comic yesterday. So, you know, I'm thinking, you know, if he was out there killing people, you gotta be fucking crazy. You gotta be crazy, right? So where we live, I mean, he's not gonna live here in New York in a nice condo or something. I mean, he'd have to fucking live in the sewers or something, right? He's an outcast. What would he be doing down there? He'd definitely be hanging out naked, covered in dirt. Like, whoa, what's the fucking thought process? What's the thought process of deciding that Frank Castle will live in a sewer naked, covered in dirt until the next time he decides to kill a bunch of people? We just fucking laughed at the process. Like, who thought of that? Who thought of that? Based on the way he carries himself, we think, you know, when he's done, he'd just take his clothes off and wouldn't even fucking sleep. Just wait till the sun comes back up and just stare at himself naked, surrounded by guns. It was just a crazy scene that went over so many people's heads. And when I got older, I watched it again, and I was like, wait a minute, how did I miss that when I was a kid? His little butt cheeks are out in front of the camera. His little Punisher butt cheeks covered in dirt. What the fuck was that about? It was so fucking weird. I still like the movie, but it was a very unusual idea that, like, how do you become so compelled? All right, we're gonna shoot the whole movie, but this fucking part right here is very important for the character. It's very important. We need to project to the audience, this is what he's doing and where he is when he's not killing people specifically. They must have been so married to that. You couldn't have him hiding in a warehouse. You know? There's no way he's wearing fucking jeans. He'd sit there naked on the floor, no furniture. I always thought that was fucking weird. And so did Panda, but I don't know, it kind of makes the movie awesome, because now, 30 years later, we're still talking about it, I guess. So, what the fuck do we know? Nathan says, I'm lucky losing weight for me is just cutting out junk food and exercising 30 minutes a day. Perfect. You can start simple. You can start simple. Sometimes people start their diets and their exercise program way too fucking hard, way too intense in the beginning. They wind up burning themselves out. So baby steps into stuff is okay, but you cannot stop stepping. That's the one thing. If it feels like it's too easy and you're gonna stop because it's too easy, then make it a little bit harder. You don't have to jump into the fucking, 10-foot deep fucking spot of the pool. If you're swimming laps in 3 feet, Take a walk to 5 and just hang out there for a little bit, you know? Take another step towards 6 feet and start doing laps in the 6 to 8, back and forth. Don't have to jump into the deep end of shit. It's not for everybody. For me, it is. I love that. Put me in the fucking deep end and I'll figure the whole thing out. But that's not for everybody, and I realize that. Coffee Seeds, thank you very much for the sub. I see you. Tariq wants to know, how long can you go at a match by minutes? As long as they need. For fun on the indies, sometimes people would miss their flights, or they'd have to cancel matches. People got hurt or something like that on the fly. We would do Ironman matches. We'd go out there for an hour for the hell of it. If it's a good crowd, we'll go wrestle for an hour. It's no problem. I would definitely play Carnage. Child of Bodom. Good call. Seagriff wanted to know if I've seen the new Batman film. Yes, I did. I loved the new Batman film. Without spoiling anything, don't worry. It finally felt like a detective film. For anyone who grew up watching Batman, and I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry. For anyone who grew up watching Batman, reading detective comics, most people don't even know DC stands for Detective Comics. Batman was a detective. Like when I was a little kid, when I was like 6 or 7 years old reading Batman comics, he was investigating these fucking murders. He's got his lab shit, and he's got his tools in his belt. I really liked how they leaned into that. And I'm not going to discuss the plot or anything like that, but I really enjoyed the film. And if anybody on here likes Batman and they haven't seen it yet, check it out. It's very good. Coffee, thank you very much for hooking up Kendrick with the sub. Punisher Warzone was awesome. You, Majesty, remember the scene when he puts the drug addict Coke Eye up against the wall and he fucking punches through the guy's fucking face. It's just a quick jump cut. That was fucking awesome. Ray Stevenson, that's right. Alan wants to know, where's Scarlett this evening? Scarlett's reading. She's in her room reading. She's reading a book. Robbie Retro jumped in right at the moment we were talking about Punisher butt cheeks. Yep. Welcome to Health Hour. Milo wants to know, do you have any advice for consistency? Sure, that ties directly into Health Hour, actually. I'm assuming that when you're saying advice for consistency, you're talking about optimizing your ability to remain consistent in whatever you're putting your energy into to produce some sort of desired result, whether that's a promotion, monetarily, for your health, mentally, physically, spiritually. I think it's important to know why you are participating in something, why you're doing anything, and it needs to be fucking worth it to you. It needs to be worth it. You, with anything and everything that you're doing, you need to know your why, and you cannot lose sight of that. If it's important enough to you, and only you know the answer to that question, don't lose sight of that. And always leave enough energy available to apply to whatever that direction is. Take a philosophical approach to protecting and preserving your consistency in anything that you're doing. That's what I would definitely say. Whether it's remaining attentive to somebody that you love, whether it's remaining attentive to yourself in general. A lot of us have self-neglect issues. We don't even realize it. We're always putting other things ahead of us. This noble thing, it's not noble if you're putting yourself in the hole. There's nothing noble about neglecting yourself. Certain times, certain situations in life will call for you to make the choice to put others before yourself. Certainly that's noble. However, if it's harming you and it's taking away from your overall long-term happiness, you gotta fucking reconfigure that situation. My advice. Omega wants to know, how the fuck can anybody get past the first week on keto? For me personally, it was not difficult at all. I saw weight that I needed to get rid of melt off of me. And for me, if I see fast results, I like fast results. If somebody tells me if I apply this amount or exact amount of energy into a direction, and I will receive the results I'm looking for, and I do that, and I see the results, I'm in. I don't give a shit how hard it is. I'm sold. So that's where I'm usually at with that type of stuff. So for me, and I'm not trying to sound insensitive because it is difficult for some people, you know what I mean? I don't ever remember it being difficult, but any sort of trepidation I had getting into keto, I just completely ignored it. I didn't even pay any attention to it. I just thought about the desired results. A lot of people have problems with keto, in my opinion, because they're not getting enough fat and they're not getting enough sodium or potassium, things that help your central nervous system to be in the most optimized place. So it can become very obvious that you are missing certain types of essential minerals and macronutrients in your diet once you remove glucose, carbs. So it's not the keto diet itself that's difficult. It's your body not being able to function without what it essentially needs. Because what we were doing before was we weren't giving it what it absolutely needed. We were masking it by eating carbs. And carbs can act as a functional calorie to get you through the day, not giving your body what it absolutely needs. Glucose is a very powerful thing, but it can fuck you up too. So when you take that out of the equation, it can be very difficult to self-diagnose what it is that your body actually needs. You may become confused and just think that your body needs carbs, which happens to a lot of people. But once you get past that and you figure out you have your diet dialed in, keto doesn't become difficult anymore. From most people that I talk to who have been doing it for many years. Bardino, thank you very much for the sub. I've been very well, and to you as well. Thank you. This is what I like to see. Listen to this, guys. Witchy Mama. Started drinking a gallon of water and doing 30 minutes of walking or 30 minutes of something else. If it's not too cold, started Monday. Congrats. Congrats. The walking itself is not hard. The water itself, drinking that, not that hard. Not being condescending or ass-kissy or fake, congratulating you for doing that. I'm congratulating you for starting the process. That in itself deserves a fucking congratulations. Self-transformation or committing to self-transformation is a very spooky thing that people overlook, because once you start the process, sometimes people get anxiety about committing to being accountable to do something. The fear that you're gonna fuck it up sometimes will prevent people from even starting anything. But that didn't happen to you. You started taking the necessary steps in order to do that on Monday. So I'm congratulating you for that. for real. Do it as often as you feel like you need to do it, and just keep it consistent for as long as you can. And if you fuck up, just do your absolute best to get back on track with that, see how you feel. Eventually, when that becomes easy, start gauging what else you want to start introducing into the whole process of it. But yeah, you're on the road to self-transformation. So good on you. Surter89, keto definitely is a tough one to stay on, but so far good. 6'6", it peaked at 305, sitting around 290 after 2 weeks, mostly doing carnivore, to be honest. Carnivore works for me too, man. Congrats on that. That's 2 weeks down, over 10 pounds. That's very good. That's very good. Keep us posted at your comfortability over the next couple weeks. My dog is saying congratulations as well. Keep us posted as often or as comfortable as you like on that. If you drop any more weight, I like to see stuff like this, and I think it also helps other people too. You know what I mean? Robbie Retro's in the house. What up? Wyatt Meister, welcome. Welcome back. Witchy Mama, thank you for subscribing. Sniper 86, I'm doing very well. How you doing? Oh, this is pretty cool. Robbie Retro's asking, I used to do this thing on the bodybuilding site. It had you increase weight size weekly, like squats from 150 pounds, to 160 the next week. Do you think this is too soon? Let your body tell you. If you're interested in trying it, like going up in weight or whatever, try it, see how you feel. If you don't feel well, if your joints are bothering you, dial it back a little bit. That's what I would say. Oh fuck, okay. Super Mopa. What is some alternative for someone trying to lose weight but can't stop drinking soda? I drink Coke Zero all the time, but is that good for someone trying to lose weight? Well, I can answer that in two ways. Drinking a 0-calorie soda will definitely help you not spill over your caloric intake. Soda with sugar in general drinking that consistently is not fucking good for you. It's spiking your insulin. And it has other things in it that your gut lining probably fucking hates you for. So, but Coke Zero, like I think it's aspartame or asuflame or sucralose, it has like sugar substitutes in it. I would try to lose that and switch to club soda instead. Club soda, Zevia is another one. Switch to those flavored sodas that don't have sugar substitutes in them. There's one, LaCroix, I think is one of them, if I said that correctly. We drink a lot of soda water in the house, but it doesn't even have any of that. It has no sugar substitutes, nothing. It's just soda water. So we never really get an itch to drink soda ever. Perrier is another good one. That's just anything out there like that. See if you can switch over to that and let me know how that goes. Witchy Mama's on here. Yeah, seltzer water. Boom, right there. Carbonated water. Definitely try that. Awesome. Thank you for getting involved, guys. This is good. This is definitely good. J Cash, what's going on, man? I'm actually, we were talking about carrying cross character being in the game. It's very awesome. Very, very cool. Scarlett and I are very happy to be in the game. Sutter, thank you for the sub. Just scrolling down to check all this, catching up with you guys. Thank you. Bubbly water, I've tried. I haven't tried hint water. But yeah, the carbonated water is definitely my go-to for that type of stuff. Yeah, you found Zevia on Amazon. Definitely look into it. It has a little bit of caffeine in it, so just be aware of that. I've talked about in other previous health hours, not to accidentally overstimulate yourself. Adrenal fatigue is a real fucking thing. It happens to a lot of people who train very hard, but it can also happen to a lot of people who might be exercising a little bit, but there's too much caffeine in their diet. I recently read a study, Scarlett actually sent it to me. Maybe it was about a month ago now, losing track of time. It was talking about how caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It blocks some sort of receptor in your brain that tries to let your body know that it needs to rest. So when the caffeine wears off, like anything that's blocking certain receptors and signals in your body, that's kind of why the crash is happening. If you're just ripping caffeine all day because you have a poor sleeping pattern or your diet is not great, it fucks up other stuff in the back end. They always say it's not good for your heart, and I'm sure abusing caffeine obviously is not. You can create an irregular heart rate or whatever, but it has a really negative effect on the brain. And there's a lot of literature out there that I've read for 15 years, even some stuff from Yale and Harvard, some papers that have been produced and published publicly, that adrenal fatigue, however you get it, whether it's abusing caffeine or you're working out too much, not resting enough, can fuck up your body's ability to produce serotonin, which can lead to like bipolar depression or like a chemical imbalance where your body's not able to produce the certain levels it needs to just feel good and feel happy. You're just not receptive to good news and good things. Sleep apnea, like we were talking about, can also do that as well. But overstimulation, not good. Even, we talked about it too, you can even become overstimulated from your phone. Just brain overstimulation in general can put you in a place where you just don't have available in your body what you need in order to produce feeling well. So watch it with the caffeine. I don't think Zevia is going to do that to you. I don't think you're going to rip through a whole case of Zevia, but I'm just putting it out there to let you know there's a little bit of caffeine in Zevia, but it's only a little bit. So just monitor that. I always tell people you probably should not exceed over 200 milligrams of caffeine a day. And according to a lot of doctors, that's a lot. But watch your caffeine intake. If you haven't been on here for previous streams, I do tell people that is something that you do want to monitor. Some people, can have 80 milligrams of caffeine in like a mild coffee, and they're good. Some people can have 2 or 3 cups of coffee. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I have 3 cups of coffee. It's not all the time, but I might have 2 cups of coffee a day. I might, depending on what's going on. I don't like that I do that, but it doesn't bother me. But I will tell you, if I'm training hard and I'm not sleeping well, the 2 cups of coffee that I have that day will put me in a weird funk for like 3 fucking days. And then I will stop drinking coffee and I'll stick to tea, like chamomile tea and stuff like that. For mental health, I wanted to actually bring this up. Mental health is not going to fix some sort of chemical imbalance, hopefully, that you don't have. But there are certain types of tea that have naturally occurring magnesium, ashwagandha. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that one. Search that one out if you've never heard of it. I'm going to say it again, ashwagandha. A lot of people take this as sort of like a mood enhancer, where it's supposed to help flush out cortisol. It makes you feel good. It's a natural herb supplement that you can take. Again, just take whatever the fucking bottle says. Don't get carried away with it. I have to say that. And I mean that. Don't abuse it. But some people like to take that with breakfast in the morning when they get up, or like with a cup of coffee. There's like teas with ashwagandha, peppermint teas and stuff like that. You'd be surprised how a tea can change your mood. And I'm not talking about tea like from Dunkin' Donuts or fucking McDonald's. I mean, like you go to the organic section inside like a good grocery store and you buy some organic teas. I don't know if there's people on here who just don't drink tea, don't care for tea, or don't see the importance of tea, but remember, once upon a time, our ancestors were in fucking ships on the water, blowing each other up for fucking spices and teas because they were used medicinally and they were used for social events and all kinds of shit. But like, there had to have been a reason why they were fucking blowing each other up with cannonballs and explosives for some fucking tea. So that's just my caveman interpretation of it. But I think tea is really important. And when I've had too much caffeine, or when I need to get away from caffeine, or even before bed, we drink a lot of tea here. And we drink tea with a set intention. We're not just like, would you like some tea? It's what type of tea would you like? And then we look into that type of stuff. We drink peppermint tea, spearmint tea. We'll drink immune booster teas that they make with like, they have like organic orange peels in them with vitamin C and different stuff like that, vitamin A, D3, different stuff like that. In our home, I mean, we're fucking human. The odd time we'll have, desserts and stuff like that. But in general, the majority of the things that we're ingesting for food is with the set intention that it's going to do something. It's going to improve something, our health, or we are attempting to recover from a workout, or we're attempting to hydrate. I know that a lot of people just eat based on food cravings, and I'm not saying that we don't do that, but 95% of the time in our home, we cook and eat things and drink things with the intention to improve something in our bodies. That's just the way her and I are. And I know that might not be for everybody, but I would humbly suggest that people, maybe if they have certain types of goals physically or mentally, to start approaching things like that and see if it works for you. It's a simple thing, I love a good fucking cheeseburger. I'm not gonna lie. I don't eat bread, but let's say I was in Vegas, I would go to In-N-Out, I would get a Flying Dutchman. That was like when I was crazy into carnivore. Flying Dutchmans were super cheap in Vegas a few years ago. So I'd go to Gold's, which was EOS at the time, got rebranded to EOS Gym. Hit a workout with Remy, and then I would drive us over, and I would get us Flying Dutchman, which was like hamburger patties with cheese. I think it was American or cheddar, I don't remember. Hopefully it was cheddar. American cheese is fucking trash. If you look at the nutritional facts on the back, it has like weird bio ingredients in it. Who knows what the fuck that is? Anyways, I would go eat those. I'd eat like 4 to 6 patties. I was trying to get bigger at the time. It was amazing, right? But, if you just have to think to yourself, like, is that gonna make me feel well, or is it gonna make me feel like shit? If I eat the bread, because a cheeseburger, in my opinion, is better with bread. But if I eat the bread with it, is that going to improve on what I'm attempting to pursue, body composition-wise, how I'm gonna feel physically, brain fog? Do I really wanna eat the fucking bread? I'm putting all this time and energy into monitoring everything that I'm doing. Is it really worth it to eat the bread? If the answer is no, don't eat it. Just don't eat it. And begin to measure the importance of the things that you're going to eat. Approach it like that, Just a simple little measure. I do that all the time. I'll be out at a dinner or a restaurant. We finish our dinner and everyone's getting dessert. They got these green tea mochi fucking things on the table, and chocolate peanut butter cheesecake and the best shit. Of course you want to eat it. Of course you do. The smell of it, creme brulee, it's fucking incredible. Of course you want to eat it. However, what do you really want more? Do you want to eat this dessert? It's going to taste great. Might not make you feel well the following day, like me. But besides that, maybe it doesn't bother you. What do you want more? Do you want to reach your goals faster? Or do you want to fucking pump the brakes, press stop, and eat this fucking dessert? Because all the time and the steps that you put forward into eating, dieting, exercise, everything, trying to optimize your sleep, you are taking away from that. when you decide to get off of the road that you put yourself on. If it's not that big of a deal to you, then it's okay, you can eat it. But for me, personally, 99% of the time, the desired goals and feeling well and sharp is far more important to me than indulging in this thing that I know is not good for me. It's gonna taste great, but it's not good for me. And so I just treat the importance of this type of stuff a little bit more urgently and a little bit more seriously than, let's say, someone who is casually doing this. I don't think I do anything casually in life, like me personally. I don't do anything casually. I'm a person who lives in extremes, and I know that. So with that type of personality pattern and behavior and those traits, I need to be careful with what I'm engaging in. I don't engage with bad shit. So I might not have one dessert. I might have 5. So if I really like it. But I'm self-aware of how I am, you know. I'm not a big drinker. Give you another example. There's never been a day in my life I've ever woken up and I've been pursuing alcohol, like ever. I'm just not like that. When I go to a restaurant, I see a massive bar and I see all of the liquor, all of the cabinets and everything like that. I literally stare right through it. It doesn't mean anything to me at all. Now, I'm not above having a drink every once in a while, but I'm not actively seeking that out. However, if I'm in a social environment, perhaps an environment that I don't want to be in, maybe a bar where the music fucking sucks, but we're celebrating somebody's birthday, or we're celebrating something, or we've been invited out. I don't want to be a dick. You know, I may have one drink if I see something on the menu that I know that I like or I can tolerate. But as I've gotten older, now I don't even fucking bother. I'll order a coffee or I'll order a carbonated water. And if somebody wants to break my balls about that, they can go fuck themselves. It's really not a big deal. That's very juvenile. But the way I used to be, I might have a drink, and with the intention of only having one drink turns into 7 or 8. So I just know not to do that. Just don't put yourself into places and around people that will enable things about you that you're aware of, that you don't want to participate in or entertain. The drinking thing, never been an issue for me, but eating bad food was a fucking huge issue for me for many years. So one dessert will turn into 7 for me. So I don't fuck around with it, not really, very rarely. Milo Cake wanted to know, how do you stop yourself from overdoing things early in your goal journey? In brackets, parentheses. What the fuck is it? Exercising too much, not eating enough, etc. That ends up burning you out only a few weeks or months. Like I was saying earlier, you just need to go at your own speed. If you're feeling tired or you're feeling sore, rest. There's some people that are gonna tell you need to push through that. Okay. What if you push through it and then you get hurt? I guarantee you they're gonna disappear. You're gonna be like, I'm really tired, I'm really sore. Oh, what are you talking about? You gotta feel the burn, whatever the fucking thing is, and then you get hurt, they're just like, oh, you got hurt? Oh, fuck. They're out of the picture. They're not gonna be there for you if you get hurt or something goes wrong. So fuck those people. Don't put that on yourself, Intuitively, we all know how hard we should be pushing. Give you an example. You get under, let's say you get on a machine, okay? A leg press machine. You put a quarter of the weight on the leg machine. You can push it 10 or 12 times, maybe 3 or 4 sets, right? It's intuitive. When your feet get on the baseboard and you begin to nudge it a little bit, you can feel that you're moving it a little bit. But if you try to max the whole fucking thing out and you feel that pressure in your lower back, you intuitively know that you probably shouldn't do that again. Maybe you shouldn't complete the movement. You shouldn't be doing 4 or 5 sets of that. You know not to push the leg press maxed out more times than you should, because something's gonna go wrong. It works the same way with dieting and exercising, all that type of stuff. Learn to find a good relationship with your body and fine tune that compass of how hard you should be going.
I have a good relationship with your body.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for that. Speaking of which, never mind, I shouldn't say that on here. No, nothing. I'm getting too comfortable on Twitch.
So,
Don't bring that out of me.
don't tell me what to do.
I'll tell you what to do. You love when I tell you what to do.
Yes, it's true.
Shut up. Get out of here. All right. You just fucked up my train of thought.
I read it better.
Get out of here.
I'm making quesadillas.
I want a quesadilla, but no bread. Is that still a quesadilla? Is that still a quesadilla though?
You want cheese?
Cheese and meat, please. And sour cream if it's in there.
Almond flour.
What's the carb count on that though?
1 tortilla is 10 grams of carbs. I have cauliflower one too.
You have cauliflower?
Uh-huh.
Carb count?
You just worry about your Twitch, don't worry about the food.
Death Rocker Bat, that's a great handle. I know this is a completely different topic, but I made a WWE 2K22 live stream and played as your character. You really look great in the game, and I love the entrance. Thank you so much, dude. And that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to necessarily be married to super heavy shit. I like to get silly. I like to get stupid. And yeah, this is free range. I just generally keep us in that health range shit. But of course, wrestling stuff is going to come up, and that's totally okay. Thank you for playing the game, and thank you for quarterbacking that information to me. So, as I said earlier, if you weren't here, her and I are really happy to be in the game, and hopefully they preserve. Don't spoil it for them, please.
Don't spoil what?
You know, what you really did. I'd rather not say anything, just in case we could get in trouble for it. But like, I hope that you guys get to see what they did. Hopefully they kept it. Don't spoil it for them, but yeah, there could be something really cool in there with us, more specifically her. So enjoy the game. Hopefully they kept it. Jay Sizzle takes ashwagandha daily. Awesome. What's this? Bills 21. Should I cut cereal out? If so, what's a good substitute? It's hard to answer that question. Depends on what your goal is. I don't know what kind of cereal you're eating, but I'll tell you this, to answer this so everyone can take something from this. If your cereal is comprised of different types of oils that are not good for you, you'll have to look this up, or it is sugar riddled, that is not something that I would recommend or encourage anybody to be eating first thing in the morning. Giving yourself a bowl of fucking sugar and milk first thing in the morning is gonna jack your metabolism up in a really fucking bad way, my friend.
But if they want a treat, look at what we found and tell them what the other one.
I'll talk to them about this.
Yeah.
I forgot we had these. Thank you. Sugar in the morning with milk. You're literally combining carbs and fats with low protein. It's gonna slow your metabolism down and you're gonna have a crash. It's gonna make you gassy. You're gonna be Mr. Fart Ass at work. You might get a spike of energy eating it and it's gonna taste great. Let's not bullshit around the bush about that. However, if you're trying to optimize your health, I would replace, let's try this. Let's pretend you really love cereal, okay? Scarlett just gave me 2 boxes of cereal that we have here in the house.
Because you're craving it sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Let me tell you this. Let me tell them this though. Do you mind if I tell them that you are
Gluten-free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not gonna put your shit out there
Yeah,
unless.
it's fine.
So she has an allergy to gluten, glyphosate. So she's not carnivore. try to make her like me. She eats whatever the fuck she wants and she looks absolutely amazing. I'm a little bit more regimented and strict with my diet. There was a time, actually on the tail end of WWE, that I had a diet program where I was having cereal with a protein shake after I worked out. The purpose was to spike my insulin, get shuttle glucose into the muscle for that pump, that full rounded look for any bodybuilders that are listening. And then with protein from the protein shake, it's supposed to spike growth, okay? There's a lot of really fucking garbage ass cereals out there, and I became aware of that. I was telling them about that earlier, bioengineered ingredients. Next time you guys go check out your cereal, when you look under nutritional facts, there's gonna be something else that's called ingredients. It's in bold. Sorry if that's out of focus, but there's nutritional facts up here, and then there's ingredients down here. Start checking out if there's something called the what was it called again?
Bioengineered ingredients.
Bioengineered ingredients. If you see that shit in your food, put it back on the shelf and just keep fucking walking.
It's GMO shit that could cause cancer in 20 years.
GMO shit that could cause cancer in 20 years. Red 40 is another one you guys can look up. You can search that. That's not fucking good for you, and that's in a lot of cereal they give to kids. It causes hyperactivity, and it's a carcinogen. It's not fucking good for you.
In studies, it increased tumor sizes in mice.
Yeah, tumor sizes in mice. That was another one. It's no fucking joke. Look, it's like cigarettes. The option is there for you to have them if you want them. There's people that smoke until they're fucking 90 years old and die of something else and never get cancer. Okay, I don't know what to say for that, but I can tell you, cigarettes have been fucking shown to cause cancer. So is Red 40. So
I'm about to make you a treat using this, and you can show them that because you're craving a little bit of cheat stuff, a little cauliflower crust. You can put some cheese on it.
let me see the card.
Look that up.
What does it say?
Look at these.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Scarlett's gonna make a quesadilla right now.
This one
With with cauliflower. Very cool. Check out this. You could do this for keto, by the way. Have a look at this if anyone's interested. So the carb count for this, 4 grams. It's not bad. On keto, you're allowed to have 30 grams of carbohydrates a day. But yeah, this is a vegetable that you can put in there. So it's not exactly carnivore. However, this ain't gonna do shit to me. This is gonna be fine. I'll take it.
ingredients look good, right?
They do, yeah.
Yep.
Cauliflower has been the go-to vegetable for keto for quite some time now. Much to look up on that. So to answer your question directly, do you want to cut out cereal? Depends on your goal. Start looking for cereals that are not high in sugar. Try to go for the healthiest cereal you can find. And then when I was doing cereal, I wasn't having it with milk. I was doing it with water and protein, and then sometimes I would have it with almond milk or cashew milk because it was high in fat, low to no carb, and high in protein. Cashew milk, almond milk, healthy cereal. Get away from the sugar and try to stay away from dairy, like homogenized and like milk. That's what I meant to say, not dairy. Dairy's okay, milk. I would steer clear of it. Milk in Western culture and stuff like that, if you want to look into it, there's a lot of stuff that happens to the milk, the way it's being treated, makes people very nervous. And I've noticed that I've become a little bit more lactose intolerant as I've gotten older. And I know a lot of other people who did too. But I also know a lot of other people that were always lactose intolerant. I don't know why the fuck that happens, but anything that you're ingesting that's gonna create mucus, we probably don't want that, right? Jason was saying magnesium is good for stress as well. I take magnesium every night before bed. I used to take melatonin when I had issues sleeping, but I felt horrible in the morning. I felt like somebody hit me in the head with a fucking dumbbell. I don't know if you guys have ever had that issue, so I cut melatonin out. It's in the cabinet for an emergency situation, like if I'm whatever, but I haven't had to take melatonin in years. So I would definitely say magnesium 100%. You'll wake up feeling, if anything, refreshed. Good for the brain. That's disgusting. Robbie Retro. I'm not even gonna repeat that, dude, about the American cheese. That is fucking disgusting. But for a long time, I will tell you, I'm not even gonna say it out loud. I used to, for a very long time when I was younger, I couldn't eat feta cheese because some kid I knew in class, when I was like in elementary school, fucking threw up cheese and it smelled like the feta cheese. So
That's my favorite cheese.
I know, I like feta cheese now. When I was a kid, I was like, this smells like fucking puke. People are like, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it fucking does. Couldn't figure it out forever.
I don't know what kind of feta cheese you're eating. Jeez.
Listen, man.
It's okay, you live with a Romanian now. I'll give you good cheese.
Sutter 89, you have no idea how much this is helping motivate me right now. Whether or not that's the intent, it's working. Good. Good. If it's not, at the very least, I hope everyone is being entertained, as I always say. So I appreciate everyone always jumping on here with me. So sincerely, I do. I had people have been telling me, Marty the Moth, Cassouse, has been telling me for years to do Twitch. I wouldn't do it. For a lot of different reasons. I was intimidated of the idea of getting in front of you guys and like feeling like I have to be like this weird fraud pretending that I'm not being a fraud. Like, what do I have to talk about? What do I have to inform them about? What do I have to tell them about? Why? I feel like this is gonna be a waste of people's fucking time. And then, I don't know, very much after the pandemic and after the WWE release, I didn't have access to fans for a long time. And straight up, I legitimately missed being able to engage with you guys. And I thought, well, what's an authentic subject that I could actually talk to where I don't feel like this is becoming this big fucking fake thing? Like, we can all see who's disingenuous on here, or in general, in real life, you know what I mean? Like, there is a disingenuous energy that people put out when they're forcing something. And I was like, I'm not gonna fucking put people through that. They're my fans, and we're just regular strangers. And I mean, I could fucking talk about health like until the last days I'm on fucking earth. I've always had a genuine recreational and a compulsive, obsessive interest in health. And I've researched it recreationally when I was a kid, and then, you know, to improve my athletic performance, and then to troubleshoot issues that I was having. You know, whether like I was trying to beat a cold or a flu or whatever, like this is something I actually like really have an interest in. So I was like, I'll fucking talk to them about that. I'll take their questions, and if I don't know the answer to it, I'm not gonna bullshit them. I'm gonna be honest and say, hey, I don't know. It's better than being full of shit. It's so much better to just say I don't know. And then a lot of these questions I feel very confident to answer. So if you guys are getting anything out of this, like I always say, I mean, that's a home run for me. So if it's good for you, it's good for me. That's why, I'll be honest with you, I was having a hard time playing Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect. I know we were dicking around and joking around about it, but I haven't gone back to it because I actually like this more, doing this, reading questions and stuff like that, than just like playing a game I've played a million times, which I will eternally always love and secretly hope to get a voice acting job for one day. But like to sit there and sort of like ignore you guys while I'm playing. I know I'm not ignoring you, but like going back and forth between reading comments and talking to people and stuff like that, like I don't enjoy that. I should say I don't enjoy that as much as doing this. I would rather do this for like a good hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever than to sit on the game for 5 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I like to get lost in games too when I play them. I don't know if you guys are like that. I like to get totally fucking submersed and lost in it. When I put on a video game and I play it, I kind of want to check out for everything going on, you know? That's how I have always treated games, which is why I don't play them very often. I don't have the fucking headspace or the time afforded to check out. I need to be on, and there's a lot of things that require my attention. So I can't just, the phase of my life that I've been in for a very long time, I can't just drop shit and play video games for hours. I was afforded that luxury in my 20s and before, no problem. I mean, definitely. I mean, my brother keeps telling me to download Elden Ring. That game looks fucking awesome. that is the type of game where if that came out in my 20s, I would lose 50 fucking pounds. I'd stop going to the gym and no one would ever see me. I'd come out looking like frail Golem, like, you know, where's my fucking ring? I would completely wither away playing that in my 20s. But now I have so much going on. There's no way. I have so much shit to do. Never mind things in my house, a beautiful woman who lives with me, parents, work, jobs, making sure my flights and my hotel are there, training. I'm really back into jiu-jitsu right now. I'm really interested in that. That's a fucking full-time commitment. I have friends who are moving here from all over the United States now, living in Florida. I haven't seen them in a long time. I want to catch up on time with them. It's just, it feels, I can't get into the headspace to put a game on and play it for 5 hours. And I don't want to play it for 30 minutes. I'm not that guy. I told you, I'm in extremes. If I put the fucking game on, I'm going to play it until the sun goes down and comes back up. And I can't do that right now. So I will just not download Elden Rings. It's not the fucking time for me to do it at all. So maybe next week if my schedule clears up, but I don't even think next week's going to work either. So as I alluded to before at the beginning of this, really big stuff coming up. It'll be dropping soon. So that's the plan. Milo was saying, your dessert story hits different, honestly. Whenever I've succumbed to that temptation, eating dessert, I don't feel like crap because of the food. I feel like crap because I realize I hindered my goal for something not worth it. I'm the same way, dude. I'll share something with you guys. I'm not embarrassed about it. I don't give a fuck. But I was a casual smoker for a long time. When I was a doorman, I was a bouncer for over 15 years. I was a guy who worked inside, roaming, responding to calls. I was a doorman. I became a bodyguard. I became a director of nightlife security operations for Las Vegas. I ran multiple different nightclubs and stuff. It's a stressful fucking environment to deal with. You know, sometimes you feel like a glorified babysitter. You have all these adults coming in with all this money, worked in a lot of high-end places, and don't get me wrong, I worked in a couple shitholes too. But you know, having to look after people that you shouldn't have to look after, they have this weird false sense of entitlement. They walk through the fucking door of the bar or the nightclub and they think that they own the fucking place because they're spending a lot of money. It doesn't work that way. And so you have to manage all of these different personalities and egos and shit. It got stressful. So sometimes I'd have a cigarette. And like I said, I'm a guy in extremes. One cigarette turned into smoking for the rest of the fucking night. So that was a gross habit that didn't catch up to me for a long time. It never ever bothered my cardio or anything like that. I did, however, notice though that I would frequently get sinus infections or throat infections or chest infections in proximity to the times that I smoked cigarettes. So that was easy to figure out. Obviously the chemicals in the cigarettes were lowering my immune system. All the bacteria and the bullshit and the stress and the lack of sleep, you get sick, right? I would be disappointed every single time the following morning that I had smoked that night. I was so fucking pissed, especially when I stopped buying packs. This is years ago. I would stop buying packs and I'd be so proud and happy and my skin would clear up, my eyes would look better, I'd feel healthy, I'd be able to run a little harder, I'd be a little stronger. And then you'd have a couple bad nights at work and then you start smoking again and the next morning you'd be like, fuck, why did I do that? I feel terrible right now. And then you'd feel like an even bigger idiot when you got sick. Because now it's like, you're coughing up green shit every morning like an idiot. You have a little bit of a fever. It sucked, you know? But I get that. I don't have that issue anymore, but as you were alluding to, Milo, with the dessert, you know? It's, you don't want it to be for nothing, right? You're already that committed. Child of Bodum, what are your thoughts on cannabis use for performance and recovery and such? I don't really have any strong opinions on it. I know some people that are pro for it. I know some people that are against it.
What about CBD?
I think CBD is wonderful. We have CBD in the house. I've used that. I'm not big on medications in general, like pharmaceutical medications. She would have to twist my arm to get me to take an ibuprofen or anything. One time, years ago, before WWE, this guy was blown in the ring. He's a little bit of a heavier guy. And he wanted to hit this fucking dive and he was exhausted, and he didn't take off hard enough when he was running to me to tope out of the ring, and he kind of got caught on the ropes a little bit. His momentum was not good. I had to get under him awkwardly to make sure that he didn't kill himself when he hit the floor. He landed on my leg and almost broke my fucking leg. I have like a weird divot in my knee that I've had forever since that happened. And I didn't want to take anything for it. I was like, I'm gonna let my body just tell me how bad this is, and it was bad. She had to like convince me to take ibuprofen.
It helped.
It did help. I'm glad I took it.
I realized we have like nothing in the house as far as sauce wise, so this is basically a cauliflower crust grilled cheese.
That's okay, I'm a nomad. I'll eat fucking food from 3 days ago that's refrigerated.
Rip that. See if that cheese melts apart. See if that rips.
Thank you.
If the cheese doesn't like spread, it's
I said thank you.
You're welcome.
That's right. This is amazing, thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Better not let it get cold.
I won't let it get cold. I'm gonna answer a few more questions and eat this. I won't let it get cold though. But yeah, cannabis doesn't work for some people, but cannabis really works for some people. So if that's your thing, then great. I know a ton of people that have been able to wean themselves off of medications that they were given by being able to transition to cannabis, and it's improved their life tenfold. So I'm not for or against it. Me personally, I don't know when the last time I ever used it was. But again, though, I'm also not really like a drinker, like I was saying. But we do have CBD in the house, and I think that's fucking great. I think that's great. Where were we? When I was living in Vegas, we voted, when was that? Maybe 2016, 2017, I don't remember, but we voted to legalize cannabis in Nevada, and it was approved, and we got dispensaries there. So I guess I am pro for it, I guess.
I don't think I've ever seen you smoke pot the entire time I've known you.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. Yeah, you don't like you said it makes you anxious when you try to want something a little younger.
Yeah, and also it's just like anytime I ever have, I've gotten I'm just how I am. So if you put me in a more sedated, lower state, I'm not gonna have anything to talk about. Like, especially in social settings, I'm not gonna be.
You're not gonna be fun.
No, I'm not gonna want to fucking be around anyone or see anybody. I'll just go to bed.
So.
Yes, I'll eat the quesadilla. I'm gonna answer a couple more questions, then I'll see what's going on here. Pretty Richie, what's up? Welcome. Xander wants to know if we took down the Xmas decorations. I actually just took the fucking the Christmas decorations off the front of the house today. I didn't tell you that,
okay,
but the whole house still has Christmas shit. It's staying up forever.
We said St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. I don't want to take it down. I don't want to fucking take it down. Oh, and you started the carnivore diet. Week 5, congratulations. I think if you're doing it for 5 weeks now, it's working for you, right? You'd know if it wasn't, you would have stopped. Congrats on that. I hope you feel well. Robbie Retro, he's changing his handle to Mr. Farnass. Yes. Mr. Farnass or Batnips. I don't know if you're around for that one. What's going on, kid? Come here, kid. You wanna come up? Say hello. You sit with me? All right. I'll tell you, she's gonna get pissed. It's so fucking hot, I can't even hold it. Huh?
I doubt that's true.
It's really true. Trying to scold me. I can't. Seriously, I fucking can't hold it. Fuck. It's too hot. Too hot. You hold it, burn your fucking fingers. You wanna be Freddy Krueger? You wanna be the next fucking Freddy Krueger? Try to pick that quesadilla up. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
You love letting my food get cold.
I can't pick it up. It's too fucking hot. Give me a Freddy glove and I'll pick it up. Decentraland is up plus 4%, by the way, just so you know.
It's not very much.
Mr. Fartass is a new DLC character in WWE 2K222. Yes. Remix Mr. Ass's theme to Mr. Fartass. Mr. Fartass. Dun, dun. Yeah, I'm a Fartass.
You really become yourself around these people, huh?
Shut up. Shut your mouth. These people are my people. They're just as fucked up as I am.
Wait till they hear how we talk about each other, about like pushing each other's heads through windows.
No,
I don't know if they're ready for that.
no, they're not ready. Dante, thank you very much for the sub, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. You're giving out many subs. Thank you very much. Senior member, prime member of the Cross Cult, the commander. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Nathan says he feels like running through a fucking wall after these streams. Hopefully enthusiastically. Oh, Wyatt Meister, you're in Indianapolis. I'm wrestling Jake something at Warrior Wrestling in Indianapolis on the 12th. If you'll be there, introduce yourself as your handle first, so I'll know who you are, and then tell me your real name. Tell me your real name. Tell me you're Batman. Say on Twitter. I did, but I don't want to ruin it. I told him I loved it. I don't want anyone to no fucking spoilers. I told him to go see it though. It was finally like a detective movie. That's all I said.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's better than cheating.
Well, that's hard. I mean, fuck, we can't talk about it. Not on here. We'll talk about that after you and I. Vicious Malfunk, thank you very much for the sub. Thank you. Favorite character in Mass Effect? I mean, am I allowed to say Shepard? Favorite character, aside from the main character, I think I would say Garrus. I like the character arc that they allowed you to develop with Garrus, because in the beginning of Mass Effect, they're still in the history of the First Contact War, which was between humans and Turians. So there is a little bit of xenophobia between the two. And I think it's actually kind of cool that they let you lean into that a little bit, that they'll actually let you lean into the war history between the two species. And then by the end of it, which I think is so cool by the, Mass Effect 3, I mean, you already closed the distance in 1 and 2 and 3, but like, you had the option for Shepard and Garrus to become really like best friends, which is cool because their species were at war. Like, you can address all of that in conversation dialogue if you wanted to be a little salty about the whole thing. Ashley Williams is the same way too. So they like leave the window open if you'd like to kind of like move and develop and expand past that. They kind of rise above the conflicts of being foreign to one another. I thought that was a cool development in it. Now I can pick it up. You bastard. It's fucking good.
Satisfying?
It's fucking good. It's better than eating a brick of fat. I'll tell you about that later. Did you ever work for Charles Wright? I don't know who that is. I don't know if I have. Doesn't ring a bell. Hey, Cerberus, I didn't realize, obviously I didn't realize that you were in the security industry as well. Bonjour. Stay safe, dude. As you have been. You've been in it for that long, That is the key to sticking around in it, right? Wanna go see Mom? you want to go see your mom? Okay. You go, bud. Go see your mom. Bodum wants to know, do you use CBD cream or oil? We have CBD cream in the house. I haven't used it. Occasionally, if I feel like I need it, it would be the oil, like the oral drip. Alex, 1969, 12 years, no, 12 months. 12 months of security work. Yeah. Yeah, was saying he left the security work. Didn't enjoy being a parent to adults when they have kids at home. Understandable. Oh, there's a question on here for you.
What's up?
Alex, 1969, wants to know, what does Scarlett think of you having hair?
It was hard to get used to, but I like it now. Like, I didn't recognize you.
Yeah.
I really like it now, though.
You like it now?
Yeah, at first it freaked me out a little bit.
Freaked you out?
Yeah.
You were like, who are you?
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
I looked at me and I said, I don't know, who the hell am I?
Mm-hmm.
This is quite the quesadilla you've made.
With no dipping sauces. It's basically a grilled cheese.
With no dip. Yeah, this is basically, yeah. Thanks, pal.
Mm-hmm.
Mmm. Entroyment 87, hopefully I said that correctly. Hey Kevin, I've been trying black coffee with Himalayan salt like you suggested as a sort of like pre-workout in the mornings, and it's been working. Thanks for the gems, man. My pleasure. I'm glad it worked for you. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know what your body fat is, what percentage it is. I've noticed when my body fat gets very low, low meaning anywhere between 14 to 7%. I haven't been 7% probably since 2018. I like my fats too much to give them up. When I did super strict carnivore diet where I literally only had, I was eating 3 steaks lean a day with pink salt. I did that for a year and a half and it was very difficult, but I got used to it. I was going for a very extreme type of aesthetic. I don't know if I'll do that again. Now I have more fatty cuts like ribeye and stuff like that. However, I'll tell you, when my body fat percentage is low and I would do the black coffee with pink salt, I would do like a tablespoon of pink salt. I know that sounds probably fucking gross, but that's what I did. I would notice that my veins, especially in my shoulder, like Sylvester Stallone, would rise off the top of my chest when I would do shoulders and chest. And I loved the way it looked. I would get these crazy pumps in the gym from pink salt that people would be getting from drinking like the chemical pre-workouts and taking God knows whatever else. So the sodium can sometimes help you volumize and get that full look that people have a hard time getting when they're doing keto or carnivore, because they flatten out because of the lack of glucose in the muscle. Glucose in the muscle, that pump that people are looking for, can be very difficult to get on carnivore and keto because you don't have carbohydrates. A carbohydrate as a molecule, when you eat a carb and then it gets digested, metabolized, and released into your bloodstream, carbohydrate is like a fat molecule like this, whereas a protein might be a little bit smaller, like that. Fat, a little smaller like that. Carb is a huge fucking molecule, and when it begins to get into your bloodstream and it travels, it can expand and load out your veins and your arteries. Not in a bad way, but it's just bigger, and it carries a hydrating effect and stuff like that. Carbon, hydrate H2O, water. The smaller, like if there's an absence of carbohydrates, it's harder to get that volumized type of look. With sodium, I found that there's a bridge with that. So, and if you've never tried that before, try it. It won't fuck your diet for this, but if you have like gotten away from carbohydrates for a long time and you're wondering when you should reintroduce carbs at some point, have some carbs one day when you haven't had carbs for like 30 days or like 2 months or something. Have some carbs and go work out and watch how fucking your body just, you look like Lou Ferrigno. You get fucking gigantic. I would suggest sugar, not regular like processed sugar, but like fructose. 15 grams of fructose, so from fruit, sugar from fruit, banana, apple, and see what your body composition looks like. If you don't want to do that, try the pink salt. The effect is very similar. We're at the fucking huge spike here in viewership. I think we just got rated, but I try to answer all your questions, so it might be a minute before I get down there to see where everybody came from, so I apologize. If you did get rated, thanks for the raid. The Ass Boys. Midnight Zombies. Danhausen, what a gem. Whitemeister with a very, very strong observation. Robert Pattinson's Batman does not have nipples on his suit, and that is a good thing for the human race. We didn't need that with the Joel Schumacher fucking movie. We didn't need it. Pretty Richie, yo Kev, would you want to work with Eddie Kingston in the future? Yes. I thought for sure Kingston and I were going to work in AAW before I got hired by WWE. I thought for sure we were going to work in Chicago. I was fucking blown away. I mean, he had his own stuff going on in AAW. He was part of a bigger story that was tying off, and he was I think wrestled for the cup with Josh Alexander. I can't believe Eddie and I haven't wrestled yet. I hope it happens soon, though. I really do. Somewhere. Anywhere. Shit. We were rated. DJ Ansi, thank you very much for the raid. I see you. Richie says he wants to look like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. I fucking love that movie, Demolition Man. Everything about that movie. Sometimes in a fucking creepy way, it feels like we're going in that direction. You know, with all the censorship shit and whatnot. But like, do you remember how they used to have the little fucking speakers everywhere? It was the software where they could pick up when people were swearing and they would ticket people for swearing. And then Stallone gets pissed because he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells to wipe his ass in the bathroom because he like wakes up in the future and they don't use toilet paper. So he goes over to the machine and just starts like rifling off every single derogatory word he knows to keep getting the tickets, and then he goes and wipes his ass with the tickets. It was funny shit. It was funny shit. And Wesley Snipes was so badass in that movie. He just beats the shit out of everybody. Like, completely effortlessly. J-Dog dropping some knowledge here. He was saying, and this is in relation to depleting yourself of sugar. He said, I competed for many years. We always have to glycogen deplete. That's why a few days after I load back up with carbs and I'm full again and not flat. So for anyone who's noticing that they get on these diets where they're cutting out all their carbohydrates, that they feel like their body flattens out, there's an awkward stage that a lot of people go through and they give up when they're losing weight, or like if they're trying to lean out. You may have a great figure. You may be in excellent shape and you're just trying to lose a little bit of fat around your waist or your back or your stomach or whatever, when people go on this keto diet, they go on a carnivore diet, when they deplete their glycemic index, you can flatten out, which just means that you lose that sort of natural pump that you have, that roundness in your muscles. It scares people. They think that they're losing their entire physique. You're absolutely not. You're losing a certain level of nitrogen retention that is associated and created with the availability of glucose. And literally when you reintroduce glucose in your system, you're going to get that pumped, expanded look, for lack of better words. It can come back literally within the hour, depending on what type of glucose or carbohydrate you're using to reintroduce into your system. So no big deal, don't freak out. And yeah, if you're trying to lean out dramatically and you don't care about that, don't even pay attention to it, stay the course. I know a lot of guys that are extremely lean, and they call it that awkward phase where, you know, you're trying to lose fat, and then it just feels like everything is sagging and drooping and stuff like that. That eventually goes away over time. You just need to stay the course with that. Don't let that freak you out of the whole process. All of that winds up dissipating a lot of its water weight. It'll be gone. Oh yeah, the software car. Funk, I do remember that. The car was like auto drive, right? Which is like basically what Teslas are. Certain Teslas, they have like a software auto drive system. Blade Trinity was awesome, or Trilogy, yeah. When I slicked the hair back and I was doing the coat and the white dress shirt and I had the beads on, people were comparing me to the Dracula. What's his name? Drake. I forget the guy's name. Who he was in that. He was also in Jailbreak as well. Anyways, some of the more recent photos that I did. Send a maniac to catch one. Yep, that was the line. That was a good one, man. Great movie. I'm gonna finish the food that she cooked for me before it gets cold, and I'm gonna sign off. It's about 1:15 right now, my time, close to it. Got a good 2 hours in. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. I again apologize about yesterday. Stay fucking tuned. Something big is about to drop. I'm giving you guys the breaking news here. I'm not gonna tell you what, but something very big is gonna drop. I was hoping it was gonna drop sooner. I was hoping it was gonna drop earlier once the 90-day was up. But a few things we had to go through a series of motions. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for always tuning in. And I hope I was able to, if not get some information out there for people to learn about some things, to give thought to things that maybe you weren't prior to thinking about. At least you got some entertainment out of this shit. So Indianapolis, March 12th, Wrestling Jake Something. I've got a seminar to teach. I'll be doing an autograph signing, and then hopefully before the 12th, they'll drop this fucking thing I'm talking about. And if not, it should come out immediately after that. Very big things coming up. So stay tuned, and thank you very much for your support. I will see you next Monday at 11:15, as usual. Have a good sleep, guys.